Hello, hello, hello. Good morning sa inyong lahat. Welcome to my weekly update ating PSE. Electronic kayo tayo sa aking page ngayon sa Trading and Risk Management page sa Facebook. It's live. Okay, today is June 5, 2021. Okay, Saturday, so we don't have any trading for today. Last day kahapon, hindi tayo nakapag-update. Dahil mayroon tayong mga importanteng ginawa. Okay, so ngayon natin i-update yung ating uh, PSE o Philippine Stocks Exchange. So maganda naging result kahapon, no? Kasi green yung ating market, no? So sa ating sa PSE, so na kayo i-share at least makita nyo na agad. We're using COL for financial for our trading platform and PSE Edge for fundamental, PSE Edge portal, and Investigram naman for our technical analysis. Okay. So, yan. So, makita nyo today is June 5 close ang market natin, but we have the recap, no? Yung mga nangyari kahapon sa stock market. So, right now, we're 0.07% or 4.47 points up yung price natin kahapon. The last price is 6,796. So, inano natin na abutan natin yung 6,700 resistance range, no? Kaya maganda yung ating lalabas sa market. So let's see yung kanyang chart, no? Using indexograms. So ang chart ng ating PSEI index yesterday, since we reached the 6,700 uh, pra- yeah, yeah, and the MPD there. Okay. We reached na 6,700 price, no? Na hinihintay ng mga traders, syempre. Actually, noong Thursday, inabot na natin yan, no? In 6,789. Pinaka last price niya o closing price niya, 6,805. That was Thursday. Ito naman kahapon, no? 6,805. Kahapon, 6,796. Yung last price niya o closing price niya. Okay, so okay pa rin naman, tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman yung kanyang uptrend, no? Hindi pa siya nagbo-pullback. Next week makita natin kung paano yung takbo ulit ng market, kung magtutuloy-tuloy siya na hit niyo yung 7,800 okay na presyo sa ating PSEI. So far okay pa naman yung kanyang MACD and stochastic, no? Overbought niya lang dito sa stochastic or sa if you're using RSI, same din yan. Overbought pa rin yan. Nasa taas pa rin ng 70 points ng kanyang stochastic o RSI. So halos din same lang din naman yung movement yan. Okay, so yan ang ating chart kahapon. Inabot yan 6,796 yung kanyang pinaka last price. And let us see yung kanya namang mga kaganapan. Ano to? Ay, may latest na dito. So, tingnan natin yung daily notes. Consumer. So, I said every time na open tayo, kailangan ito maunang bubuksan nyo. Anyway, so hindi na ito latest. Kahapon pa to. Dapat kahapon inasin yan. Pero ang babasahin natin actually itong kanyang COVID update. Kasi yung importante rin, no? May mga catalyst din yan na pwedeng magpataas o bumaba ng price sa market. Okay. So, yung COVID update natin for yesterday, hapon. Kapunta, diba? Friday, June 4. Okay. We have Philippines, no? 1,240,716. And total new cases 5,257 as of June 4. Total debt naman natin is 21,158. So walang nakalagay na na new cases na death sa Philippine COVID update. Pero meron tayong total recoveries. One total coverage na is 1,167,426. And a new recoveries natin 6,266. So dito sa total debt, wala tayong nakalagay na update. In US naman is we have 18,857 ang total case nila. So medyo pababa na rin. No? And total debt naman is 605. So malaking country kasi yan. Kaya total total update nila for the whole country ng US. And 41,231 naman yung recoveries. All in all, worldwide, we have 496,302 total cases and 10,881. Worldwide na to total deaths. So kung paano na ba yung case natin. And total recoveries natin, 645, 212 naman overall. So worldwide, natin COVID natin. So that's good news kasi marami na rin nag-vaccine. Dito rin sa atin sa Pilipinas, no? Almost, sabi nga, basa ko 2% of the total population natin ay nagpa-vaccine na. Ang kulang lang sa atin yung mga supply. Kaya hopefully pag dumating yung mga supply, may mga panibagong batch na magpapabakuna para mabawasan na totally yung natin yung ating COVID cases. Kasi importante lang naman dyan, kahit hindi pa masyadong napabakunahan lahat, no, almost at least 50% ng population na pwede pabakuna ay mabakuna kasi kailangan natin yung distancing diba? Yung hindi makahawa sa iba. Okay, market summary. The local stock market declined on Thursday as investors took profit from the recent rally. Okay, Friday to pero Thursday sinabi niya decline. Sa PSE decline, yes.
Meron ka bang 3.5 SL na jack?
Sandali. Anong jack? Anong jack? Okay. Para sa kotse ata yun, di ba? Anyway, the local stock market declined Thursday as investors took profit on the recent rally. And PSE declined by 49.80 points or 72% to close at 6791.87. The main drugs were GT Cap, negative 325, AEB, negative 239, that's percent 80, negative 2.14%, SMPH 1.71%, and AC at negative 1.4. On the other hand, these were partially offset by the gainers such as TMC, PAS 298, FGen 1.64, SCB 1.61, and Bloom 0.99%, and MPT at 0.9%. Value turnover surged to 18.8 billion from the 9.5 billion issued in April Wednesday. Meanwhile, foreign continued to buy shares and completed 1.9 billion worth of shares, inching from the 1.8 billion registered in the previous session. So, ayan ang mga catalyst ngayon, no? Kaya umakit yung price natin because of foreign buying. Mga stocks na nakaabang na sila. Tingnan natin dito para we can see kung ilan ang nakapasok na mga foreigner na invest sa. So, dito sa ating chart, no, makikita nyo rin dito. Sa kung titignan nyo yung pinaka technical and fundamental niya. Okay. Ayan, that is the stock formation, fundamental analysis, and technical analysis. Tapos yung mga net foreign. So for whole week nung started at May 31 to June 4. Puro foreign buyer na naman nandito. Okay, at malalaki yung mga nila yung buying nila rito sa atin. 1.07, 1.89, 1.82, 341 million. Ito sinabi kanina, billion yun. Ito naman, million, 56 million, 917 million. So, na-offset niya yung mga dating binenta niya. Yung mga nagbentahan, and then yan, nakaposisyon sila for buying. definitely pagka bumagsak yung market niyan, ibig sabihin nagbentahan na naman sila. So, talagang sila yung nagiging ito yung mga whale talaga or they actually shark. Kasi normally ang mga whale naman hindi naman basta-basta nagbebenta ng kanilang mga position. Like for example, dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, yung mga institution na yung mga bangko, companies na malalaki, and also mga local investor natin. Ayun ang nakapagpa-hold ng ating market during the time na bumabagsak talaga siya yung price niya, di ba? When foreigner, mga foreign investor natin is selling their position. Nakita niya sunod-sunod. Almost 1 month, di ba? Almost 1 month ang kanilang pagka-red kasi is, ano yan, seller yan, mga foreign seller yan, mga nagbentahan. And konti lang yung nag-invest or nag-buy. Although hindi ganun ka, sana ba? November na pala ako. Okay, start yan ng bandang February, yan, sunod-sunod na yan hanggang March. Okay, and then 8, March, April, ganun din, or month of April and May. Kaya bumagsak ng gusto yung market na yung price natin. Umabot tayo ng 6,100 points, di ba, yung price natin. So, ngayon naman nakaka-recover naman tayo, pero mabilis pala, hindi dahan mabilis ang pag-recover natin. Aside from may mga foreign buyer tayo, may mga local din or mga institution din ang nag invest para mas lalong umakyat yung price ng PSEI natin, which is the benchmark of our stock market. Okay. So ano pa yung mga news doon? No? Hindi naman natin masyadong tatawag kasi tapos na to kahapon. Eh, no? Okay, so update lang naman tayo for week, for the whole week trading. Tingnan natin din itong kanilang consumer sector. Yan, kasi ito pwede sabihin natin long term naman to. No? About consumer sector. So consumer companies delivered mixed result in first quarter 21. Consumer company that we follow delivered mixed result in first quarter 2021. Out of 13 companies that we cover, 5 companies perform above expectation. DNL, EMP, Max, Pure Gold, Lukon. 5 performed below expectation. CIC, JFC, MRSGI, PISA, and SSI. While 3 performed in line with expectation. CNPF, RHI, and URC. Manufacturers continue to be the best performers during the first quarter 2021 with median profit of 23.5 year to year. Profit increased mainly due to the healthy top line growth and lower tax expenses. Thanks to Create Low, CNPF delivered double-digit growth in profit, led by recovery in OEM export with our opening of the global economy. Similarly, URC and EMP is Emperador, right? Natin EMP. Anyway, mamaya natin tingnan na ano ako doon. So, profit growing amid strong international operation. Both companies also benefited from the cost-cutting initiative. DNL delivered the most robust result in first quarter 2021, driven by a high volume for its high margin specialty products, HMSP. Only CIC booked lower profit year on year as well as operating expenses. Plus 13.7% outpaced sales growth and plus 5% due to higher spending on its e-commerce platform and more aggressive marketing brand campaign. So isa-isayin natin to para at least meron kayong idea. Conception Industrial Corporation, sabi rito, buy at 33.30. Okay. Kaya natin yung Conception Corporation. Ano ba yung stock code niya? Wala. Dito dito pag nilagay niyo yung name, complete name, lalabas pa rin yung kanyang stock code. Example, Conception Corporation. Conception. Lalabas. Nilalagay ko yung ano talaga. Concepcion Corpor Concepcion Industrial Corporation. Pwede ka na natin siya tignan muna para makita natin. So masyadong yan, CIC Concepcion Industrial Corporation or CIC. So tingnan natin yung dividend right now. Unahin natin yung fundamental. So right now, Concepcion Industrial Corporation is giving 1 peso from March, no, March this year and May last year, 0.70 centavos naman. So that is Concepcion Corporation or CIC. CIC pala siya. Yan. So lalabas na yan. So you will see CIC. Well, laking spike na ito from 21 pesos to 18. So 3 pesos. Ano to? So right now, they're also recovering from nangyaring COVID pero mas mababa pa last year pa rin yung naging price niya. Isang malaking week yung sa kanya na itong time na to. March 21 this year. Pero still, hindi pa rin niya na ano yung kanyang pinaka-lowest price last year during lockdown. Pero as you can see, no, hindi naman ganun siya naapektuhan nung kasi itong March niya, bumaba lang siya after, no? Nung March and then bumaba na siya nung bandang June. Yung iba naka-recover ng bandang June and July, pero siya naman bumaba siya ng June and July. Okay, so ito yung kanyang price action right now. Kaya makita nyo rin, no? Kung ano yung reaction niya dun sa nangyaring lockdown last year. So instead na dito siya bumagsak, although bumagsak naman siya, and then patuloy pala siya bumaba noong 2020 or no lockdown. Okay, from 24.70, nabot niya yung 17.26. Ang sabi sa kanya, buy at 33.30. So malayo pa yung 33.30, hindi dito pa yan. Okay, so yung pinaka-highest or per value niya, tawagan. Sabi natin dito yung potential na bumalik yung price niya at this price. So if you're 21.50 right now and 32.52, ibig sabihin you have almost 10 pesos gain, no, kung dito ka magbabay sa price na to. Kaya sabi 21.50. 33.30 at buy. Okay, so they're also giving 1 peso to yung last year na 70 cents. Ngayon sabi niya, lagi niyo checkin pa rin yung kanilang fundamental and technical analysis. Now, Century Pacific naman, buy at 25.60. So, dito natin yung Century Pacific. Ito yung Century Pacific. Narito para at least nakikita na rin natin yung kanyang stock code. So, Century Pacific, okay, they're giving 18 centavos last April and then 18 centavos also no last year, July 27. Ito yung mga Century Pacific, mga Century Food, Century Tuna. Okay. CNPF, ata, nito? Century Pacific Food. Yung movement niya, yan. Kaya upward movement siya. Pull back and then up ulit, pull back up ulit. No, so ayan yung kanyang price right now 24.10. No, last year umabot pa siya ng ito yung pinaka nung lockdown 10.59 and then after a year March then recover sila agad March, no? 1 year after naka-recover agad sila from 10 pesos to 17. And then ngayon paakit na yung kanilang movement. No? From 17 to 24. That's around 5 pesos. No? Closing at 24.30 kahapon, Friday. So sabi dito, buy at 25.60. Yung kanya ng mga recommendation. So check niya 25.60. Malapit na abutin yung 25.60. Ito na yun. Tingnan natin yung pinaka-highest price niya dito sa actually wala siyang highest price. Ayun ang pinaka-highest price niya as of the moment kasi nung nag-open siya nalis siya ng May 14, no? 14, 2014. No, highest price niya is ito 24. Yung pinaka-resistance level niya. Sabi, pag na-reach niya na yan, no, can reach up to 25.60. That's Century Pacific. Okay, DNL Industries. DNL, check din natin, DNL. And L. Okay, DNL Industries, dividends and right, no, 0.18 ang kanila nang binigay, 18.3, halos pareho lang din ng Century Pacific. Check natin yung kanyang price. And L. Okay, right now nasa 7.94 yung kanyang closing price, no, kahapon. Same din, no, umakyat na breakout niya na rito sa price ng 7.75. So right now, i-reach also yung 8 pesos range, no. Pinakamataas niya 8.14 kahapon. Pero sabi rito, DNL 9.60. Buy at 9.60. So let us see yung kung saan yung pinaka-highest price niya. Actually, umakyat pa siya, no. If you will check the 10 years growth ng kanyang price, umabot siya ng 13 pesos. Pero sabi niya hanggang 9.60. So ito yung kanyang pinaka for value. Okay, check natin 9.60. Balik tayo doon sa ano, yun ang pinakamataas niya. Pero dito umakyat siya ng umakyat, no? During 2014 up to batong pan na ito. Kung nag-open siya ng 2012, no, 2014, doon siya umangat ng gusto. Ano nangyari? Tayo sa year to date niya. So yan yung ano niya, yung price action niya noong 2014, 3 pesos to all the way to 10 pesos ng 1 year lang yan, ha. 3 to 10. So ibig sabihin in just 1 year, kasi 2013, 14, diba? 2014 natin 52 weeks high, no? 2014 up to 2015, no? Na-reach niya yung 10 pesos. So that's 7 pesos na price appreciation. And then 2016, 15, bumaba siya 2016. And then right now until last year, no, nagkaroon ng lockdown. So yung price nung last year. Okay. 2018, 2019, 2020. Yun na. March 2020, reach niya yung 4.7. So umabot siya dun sa pinaka support level, no? Resistance level na ito 2013, no? Almost ilang years, 7, 8 years, no? After 8 years bumalik siya dun sa same price, no? 2013 ayun ang price niya, 427. And then 2020, siya sa 427 or medyo baba pa. So titingnan natin, significant 'yan eh. Kaya 'di ba dapat checkin din natin yung pinaka history ng price niya kung saan siya pwedeng bumaba o bumalik. So yan yung pinaka price niya nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. Okay, tapos and hanggang August ano lang siya, nag sideways lang siya, no. Hindi siya masyadong, pero umakyat siya ng ano nung almost 2 pesos, naka-recover siya after a month, ano, and then bumaba ulit, na-reach niya ulit yung pinaka mababa, no, nung COVID or nung pandemic time. And then dito na lang siya umakyat nung mga September until yan, nag-consolidate na siya month of March and April this year. So ngayon, ayan na yung price action niya. So meaning na breakout na siya rito sa price ng yan, kaya makita yan. Breakout siya rito sa price ng 7.76, kaya ngayon nasa 8 pesos na. So tingnan natin din to. Okay, that's the breakout point of breakout price. Yan, touch yan. And then after dito, umabot na siya ng 779 and then bumaba lang din siya kahapon, no? Bumaba siya ng low ng 793. Pero umakyat din siya at na-reach niya yung pinaka highest price na 8.14. Then bumalik siya close na siya sa 7.94. DNL, check natin. DNL. Na-check natin no, yung dividends niya. Dividends giving 0.18 din. Parang yung Century, di ba? Century sa kanya, isa pang nauna. Meron isa pa. Century din, Elas pareho. Now, ito na. Ito. Yung susunod, kayo na dami yan eh. Kayo na mag-check yung manonood na ito para at least you have idea how to check the fundamental and technical analysis. Emperador, ito yung last na checking ko, Emperador. Ande, hanggang Jollibee na lang tayo. Okay, Emperador, sabi rito, lahat naman yan tinakila lahat yung mga consumer companies. So sa Emperador or MP, sa mga manghihinom dyan. Actually, Emperador is owned by Andrew Tan, owner of Mega World and also isang company ng Emperador. No, Mega World sa yun, franchise ng McDonald's. Si Andrew Tan, siya yung owner. Okay, Emperador's giving 9 centavos or 0.09 last March 16 this year and 0.12 same year din, January 12. Okay, last year naman 0.11 noong August 13, 2020. Okay. So sa ano rin to, stable company to kasi meron tong alam niyo na ba yung Fundador brand company na nabili na rin niya ng Emperador, ni Andrew Tan, and meron silang distilleria and plant ng taniman ng grapes Spain. Kasi yung Fundador is sa Spain yan eh. No, kaya nagkaroon sila ng distilleria and ng planting or taniman ng grapes sa Spain dahil nung nag-merge na yan. Okay. So, yan natin yung kanyang ano, ba, anong emperador, emperador. Hindi nakita yung ano niya eh. Yan, MP. Mm-hmm. Naman nakalagay ata lahat ng mga ano. Yan, CFC. Okay. So, yung MP dito. Ito, MP. So, MP right now, kaya technical analysis is bumaba siya ng April last. Ito ano lang, this year, no? Bumaba na gusto yung price niya from 1040 to 927. So, tingnan natin yung price niya nung during lockdown. Dapat siya ng 630. Hindi naman ganun kalaki yan, pero ayan, dito naman nag-consolidate na nung time ng last year, August, till March, no? Till March. Tapos, nang dating ng February, nung February pala, until February. Tapos, February, first day of March, March 1, bigla siya boom, umakyat agad or ano ba to? Nakuha niya ba to yung ano niya? Yung kanyang ito, ceiling price dahil from 999 to 10.9. De, piso lang naman to actually, no? Almost 2 pesos pala to. Okay, and then after that, bumaba na siya. Naman itong April. Okay, from 1036 to hanggang tong May na to, 913. So sabi, Emperador, hold at 950. 950, hold at 950. Tama, something like that. Yan, kasi yan yung pinaka niya, week niyan tatlo, di ba? So most probably to mag-consolidate siya ulit or sideways pa rin yung kanyang movement. Okay, that's Emperador. Check natin kanina yung ano niya, di ba? Dividends. Dividends niya and rights. Okay, so done na tayo rito, no? So, weekly update natin. So, kayo na lang dito no, mag-check ng ibang mga fundamental technical ng ating company no, na consumer companies na binigay ng COL. Okay. So, kung meron kayong hawak dyan, check nyo pa rin yung kanyang fundamentals at alamin nyo kung ano yung kanyang movement right now. Kung naghahanap naman kayo mga stocks na bibilihin nyo, yan, pwede nyo pag-aralan. No, consumer or food products kasi right now, it's a needed no, mga products. No, ito yung tinatawag na, anong tawag doon? Yung mga ginagamit, kailangan na produkto natin yan. Essentials. Wala sa isip ko yun. Ano ba magandang sa isip ng essential? Essentials. Ha? Essential products. Yan. Mga food products, essential yan. Tapos yung mga ano. Ha? Anong lugaw? Gaw-gaw. Lugaw, hindi siya essentials, no? Kaya, kaya nagkaroon siya, kaya na-trending siya, no? Kailangan pag may lugaw ka, meron kang kasamang toko at baboy. Yan, para maging essential. Alright? Dala tayo rito sa ating financial, consumer sector, companies na sa latest research natin. Technical guide. Yan. So, kung gusto nyo i-print, pwede rin naman, but make sure check nyo pa rin kung siya ay updated o latest. Paano nyo malalaman? Dito sa time, sa date. Ito actually, ano na to, June 3. Updated pa rin to. Latest technical guide niyan. And then check nyo pa rin siyempre yung initiate, date niya rin dito. Ayan. And then yung recommendation niya. No? Depende yan. Kayo pa rin mag-decide kung recommend ng COL is iyong igagawin. No. So may mga recommendation diyan. Kaya lang check mo nga rito kung kung latest recommendation. Like for example, PNB sabi buy up at 222.65. Mga ganyan. Sell into strength. I remit down. Okay. Sideways naman ang Pill Trust. So ito pwede yung basihan din, pagbasihan. Ang importante lang dito, okay, malaman mo kung ano yung technical and fundamental din ng company na nire-recommend. Hindi yung pagka nakita mo, ay buy daw, buy. O buy daw. Diba? Recommendation yan. Hindi naman yung sinasabi natin na kahit kanino, wag, eto kayo makikinig sa mga forecast o mga sinasabi, lalo lang sa mga nadidinig lang natin. Wala naman I'm not against sa mga ganon, kahit sino pa yan. Lagi naman iba sinasabi din, di ba? Na okay, maniwala lalo sa mga katulad namin na hindi naman kami mga financial advisor. Ang sa amin lang naman, we're giving information. So kayo pa rin mag-decide, lalo ng mga bago. Huwag kayo agad-agad maniniwala. Okay? Importante malaman nyo. Kunyari, nagbigay ng mga recommendation, di alamin nyo muna using technical and fundamental. Ang tinuturo lang namin dito yung system o yung basic na pwede nyo gamitin. And then, ma-familiarize nyo how to use yung technical and fundamental analysis. Kasi iba, alam lang yung word pero hindi alam i-apply. Okay? Now, pag nalaman nyo na siya, na-apply nyo na siya, okay, gawin nyo na mismo doon sa pinaka-platform. Doon nyo na mismo i-apply sa platform. Para at least malalaman nyo kung tama na yung inyong natutunan. Okay. Right. So, dahil na tayo rito, no? COL natin. Update. No? So, okay. Dito na tayo ngayon sa kay Mimi, yung kanyang video. Okay. So, let's move on dito sa ating ANC. No? Analysts confident a recent PSE rally consistent with the profit rebound and GDP forecast by ANC channel.
Junie Banaga, Philippine Asset Management, now joins us live. Hi, Junie. Good morning.
Hi, Mimi. It's been a good morning the last few days. Yes.
Yes, I can imagine. Minus today's pullback, at least the early pullback, are you feeling the animal spirits unleashed in the market? I mean, we saw a near 500-point rally end of last week, a bit of a pause at the start of this week, and then they're at it again with a climb back to 6,800 yesterday. Are you buying the rally, Junie, or is it making you nervous? Personally, when I observe, I feel it's a little too much too soon.
So, okay, let me answer you categorically. So, yeah, quote unquote, I am buying this rally. I'm not feeling nervous, and as you see, the smile is quite wide, no? And I don't think it's certainly not too much too soon, no? Well, just to give I think the right perspective, no. When we look at the market, we've observed that the ups and downs has been driven really by the improvement or deterioration in operations of companies. When we talk about operations, we're really talking about money received from customers, profit per unit sold, or for product or per service sold, and how well investments turn into profit. No? When I say perspective, let's say we look at every 12 months, no? And when we say every 12 months, we're not speaking of just January to December. It could be September to September, March to March. No? Stock prices rise and fall when operations improve or deteriorate 80% of the time. 80% of the time.
識揀自付費，保費自然抵。
Chichay. Ito yung mga ads no? Alright, so yan, doon tayo mag reviews na sinabi ni Junie. No? Junie from Pilam Life Asset and Management. Ano yan, yung insurance company. So meron din silang siyempre mga insurance din naglalagay sa mga yung portfolio nila sa mga equity or stock market. Okay, they're basing their income din do sa ano mangyayari sa ating stock market. Ano yung sabi niya nga na nga, yung pullback ng PSE, okay, buying signal din yan kasi nga pagka umakyat na naman yung price niyan, dire-diretso yan, momentum. No? Nag-momentum and it can reach up to 6-7 na tayo, no? Mga 7,000 to 7,500 price points. And mga companies no na nag-move right now, especially mga blue chip company na ito, participate na sa market ngayon. No? They're moving upward, uptrend. No? And all of mga foreign, lalo yung mga foreign sellers natin na nagpa-participate na rin sa market. So, pag nagsabay-sabay yan, nagsama-sama yan, definitely may get na momentum para umakyat ang market natin and recovery of Philippine stock exchange. Right.
2020, as we know, operations of the 30 companies that comprise the benchmark, that collapsed by 41%. And then this year, analysts are looking at operating profit bouncing by 48%. That's a very significant event, and another 20% in 2022, by which time the operating profit would have normalized or would have even exceeded the operating profit of the index companies in 2019. So the year-to-date performance, as we see today, I believe it's -3, -2%. That is inconsistent of the overall bounce in the operations of companies. So the rally is consistent also with IMF's forecast of in GDP of 6.9%. So economy is recovering, operations are bouncing. So it's a consistent story. So no need to be uncertain about it, nervous. It's not going to be a straight line. We know that, but the rally will stay.
Oh, wow. That's a very, very optimistic way to view and describe the market. Judy, is this what the developed markets call the reflation trade, the reopening trade, the great reset trade? Is this it? I mean, Wall Street enjoyed it way ahead of us, but is this it?
I wouldn't say it's a reflation trade that we have, as we are seeing in many of the developed markets, where stocks benefit from a pickup in inflation due to a recovery in the economy. No? We read about
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write
Alright. Ito rin natin ito.
BSP's monetary policy meeting just recently, and BSP noted the risk of a disappointment in GDP growth expectations, which prompted them to keep monetary policy unchanged. No? From their perspective, there seems to be a need to sustain support for domestic demand. No? And then when we look at inflation, it appears the pickup in inflation is not caused by the strengthening of demand for goods and services, but really from price increases caused by constraints or limitations in supply. For example, supply of meat, that's been one of the causes of the uptick in inflation. As well as the rise, we have seen the rise in international price of oil. So BSP said that inflation will track slightly a slightly lower path this year compared to last year. No? So they're not really concerned about it, but what they're concerned about are the supply constraints, where they feel they should provide non-monetary support.
Okay.
So it's not a reflation trade. It's more of following the recovery of operations in companies.
Okay, well noted. Junie, let's go over some interesting corporate stories that we have from this morning. Converge ICT is buying 40% of Digital Telecommunications PH, that's Digital Crossing Inc., which operates cable landing stations here in the Philippines for $4.8 million. In relation to that, Converge ICT is also buying 60% of Asian Netcom PH Corp for $2.7 million. Just a bit of a context for those who are watching us right.
Do you sometimes find the fear of what could happen?
Hello, alright. Dumadami ng ads ni Mimi ha. ng ASU.
Essentially, Dennis Uy of Converge ICT is buying 40% of DCI from, get this, Digital. This is a subsidiary of PLDT, which used to do Sun Cellular. So what happens so they're buying 40% of DCI. Who owns the remaining 60%? Well, the remaining 20% of DCI is held by Asian Netcom Philippines, and the remaining 40% is owned by Telstra of Australia. For the other news item, we said that Converge ICT Dennis is buying 60% of Asian Netcom Philippines Corp. Also from PLDT, from the PLDT Group for $2.7 million. Who owns the remaining 40%? It's also Telstra. So really, this news is pretty interesting in that, number one, I guess it paves the way for a possible perhaps partnership with Telstra. I think this is the exciting angle to this news. We remember Telstra back in 2016, Ramon Ang of San Miguel was in talks for a joint venture. What do you make of a story like this, June?
Yeah, well, you mentioned a bit of a history there and in the background, and we're happy to know that companies or these plans are moving. There's always, given the new normal, really the demand for faster communication that is uninterrupted, and where infrastructure is needed and two companies can put together the business. I see numbers here, but they're not really large if you really think about the amount of capital expenditures that need to go into this kind of operation. So, I've not read much about this item. It's quite new to me. And I believe it's a good development when companies begin to move forward in operations where they can complement and where the other does not see any new value that they can add to the specific segment of the business, and which can be sold to another who sees a lot of value in it.
Exciting. And of course, I imagine this is part of Dennis Uy's internationalization plan, because they do want to be a hub, to offer their services, not just here in the Philippines, but in other areas in the region. Here's one. Fitch Solutions revising upward its 2021 average price forecast for nickel to $16,500 per ton versus their initial estimate of $15,750. And they're saying that increasing supply will be the driver of bearish outlook from current levels. They're saying that strong stainless steel demand is going to support prices while the EV production, electric vehicle production, is ramping up. This is good news for mining, I imagine, for miners. Junie, are you bullish about mining counters at this point? It seems like things are going well for them.
It's a good sector at this time, I think. It's really, we're talking about cycles, and we saw that cycle again collapse last year, no? So it's a commodity where there's very high demand. The commodity is benefiting, as we note, from the global economic recovery that's happening in the largest economies, including we see recovery beginning to recover also in Europe. So that's a very good development. EV has its, it could weigh on the demand for electricity, but it's still a growing industry, and probably the demand will keep up, and
係咪真係一定
Hello, yes. Ganda yung kanilang tinakal kanina, regarding dun sa mga telecommunications partnership and Converge, no? talagang nagkikipag competition regarding sa kanilang fastest internet, no, na ipoprovide sa mga users or yung mga subscribers nila. And ayun, maganda yun, magandang ano yan, magandang tawag dito, mangyayari diyan kasi aside from the fast internet service, no, yung iba syempre magkakaroon din sila ng update o kaya ano din sila, papabilisan din sila ng mga internet nila, no, ng mga projects din nila. So mas maganda yung ano, kahit yung mga bago pa lang yan na sa ganyang ano industry, talaga naman they giving a good service sa mga ano, good service providing mga members nila o sa mga subscribers nila. So I hope magtuloy-tuloy yan, and then yung iba pang mga ka-competition nila mag-innovate na rin para at least makakapili yung mga subscribers, no, or yung mga tao na magsisimula pa lang mag-subscribe ng magandang internet provider.
And will have a bigger influence on price than EV at the moment.
Okay. Here's an interesting foreign story. The G7 ministers, Junie, are expected to launch a clean green initiative that's supposed to rival China's Belt and Road Initiative sustainably when they meet next week. Of course, this is on top of, other proposals like the push for a global corporate tax bracket. The sustainability conversation seems to be getting a second wind. Are you seeing a fundamental shift, Junie, in the way people will invest and in what they invest in?
So when we say green clean, as you noted, it's indicative of the shift in where investment funds are investing. Investment funds for some time now have been seriously including as part of their many considerations those relating to sustainable investing or socially responsible investing or mission-related investing. It's indicative of this shift has been what we've come to know as the MSCI indices, where the company Morgan Stanley Capital International, they've created and made available measures of a listed company's resilience to long-term industry, material, environmental, and governance and risk and all that. No? So in fact, MSCI as early as 2013 made available an MSCI ESG index, which along with other indices serve as reference or benchmark for investment funds that consider quote-unquote clean green. So it's been there and it's been
All right.
traction a little faster than what we've seen in the last 5 years. In the recent year or so, it's been the demand for ESG benchmarks have been rising significantly. So yes, there's been a significant shift in the way investment funds are allocating their strategies.
Okay. Junie, always a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for the insights and for the time this morning. Stay safe, sir.
It's my pleasure. Stay safe, Mimi. Thank you.
All right. So, we're done sa review sa kanyang interview, no, with Junie from Pilaam Equity, no, or yung kanyang investment fund. So, mga maganda yung binibigyan nilang information regarding sa stock market. Not only here in the Philippines but also sa international market. Katulad yung last na diniscuss about MSCI o Morgan Stanley, no, investment. Alam na natin, no? Meron din tayo kasing MSCI na mga investment sa Philippines, no, na inaano sa stock market sa US, no? Mga companies, parang ilang companies din yan, no, na minamarket nila sa US naman. Anyway, so aside from investment, no, sabi nga, no, panlabas sa Belt and Road ng China, merong investment na gagawin din yung MSCI na invest nila sa G7. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung magiging update dyan pagka na-start na yan. Alright, so we're done on our update for today, for weekly update. So, syempre last but not the least, yung ating ginagawang options, no? Once na you started to invest in stock market, no? So, you can choose from 3 options na ito para sa akin lang. Kung gusto nyo lang, kung ayaw naman, okay lang din. Importante, meron kayong idea. Unlike na hindi nyo alam kung ano yung gagawin pagka nag-start kayo mag-invest. O kaya, di ba minsan na nakakapanood kayo ng mga YouTube, hindi alam kung saan yung sisimulan. Kung paano kayo mag-start. Siyempre, paano kayo magsimula, pag-open mo na inyong mga platform kung gusto nyo talagang mag-start mag-invest. And then, from there, you can start na aralin na yung tinatawag natin mga technical or fundamental analysis. Number 1, explain ko na agad. Number 1, learn to trade. No? Learn to trade or learn to trade. It will take 1 to 3 years to learn stock market trading. No? Yun nga sasabi ko, the fundamental and technical analysis. Saka tinakal din natin ito, every time na kasi nag-open tayo ng update, ay nung binibigyan natin update, no? Para at least ma-familiarize na rin kayo sa mga paghanap ng magandang company. Yung iba naman, mga nagtuturo, lalo sa YouTube, marami doon, no? You can look for, kung technical lang, yung mga indicators sa tinuturo, yun ang i-apply nyo rin doon sa technical analysis niya. Kaya lang, mahirap mag-apply kasi kung wala pa kayong platform na ginagamit. Kung puro basa lang o pakikinig o panonood, hindi nyo rin matutunan yan hanggang hindi nyo na-apply. Kaya you have to open your own platform. No? Maghanap kayo ng mga broker para makapag-apply kayo doon. Ayun ang gamitin nyo. I-apply nyo yung mga natutunan nyo. Fundamental naman, actually, makikita nyo naman yung mga ginagamit nating diba, yung PSE edge natin. So, doon nyo makikita yung mga companies na nakalisted, pati IPO. Bagong companies na listed sa COL. So doon yung malalaman kung ano yung mga development niya. Makita niyo yung mga board of directors, okay, mga financial report, even the dividends and rights ng company. Para at least you know kung anong company ang gusto niyo in long term. O kaya kung gusto yung yung day trading or scalping lang na nagmo-move talaga or active company. Okay? So, may mga strategies din na kailangan malaman yan how to entry or exit the market, na take profit o kaya gusto nyo mag-cut loss para hindi naman kayo matalo ng malaki or malose ng inyong kapital. Okay? And siyempre, if you lose at the beginning of the trading, that's your tuition fee in learning. Wala naman yan na kahit alam nyo nang gawin o kahit na marunong na kayo, hindi kayo mag-lose sa trading. Kaya may tinatawag dyan, losing and gaining. No, dapat na average nyo at the end of the month o kaya at the end of the year kung tuloy-tuloy kayo nag-trade. Averaging lang naman yan para malaman nyo kung talagang nag-gain kayo sa mga trading nyo. Now, if you need to I suggest you need to get a mentor or coach to guide you to shorten your learning curve and the cost of learning. A short tuition fee will be minimal. Kasi yung mga losing trade natin ay tinatawag na tuition fee. Kung lumaki yung mga losing trade nyo, napakalaki ng tuition fee nyo naman. Diba? May mga kilala ko, 100,000, 200,000 yung kanilang realized loss, hindi yung paper loss lang. Ibig sabihin na nabenta na nila and then talagang natalo sila ng ganong kalaki. Then doon lang sila nag-start maghanap ng mga magtuturo sa kanila, magpupulsa lang. Okay, so depende pa rin yan sa mga look for a good coach na makaka-relate ka. Kasi baka yung mga coach na makukuha nyo rin, yung mga mentor na makukuha nyo rin, hindi ka makarelate. May mga time kasi na may mga sensitive, diba? Mga emotional. Kung ang coach na nakuha nyo, talagang tuturuan ka na maging matatag. Maghanap ka ng matuturuan ka naman o makaka-relate ka. Kaya lang dito kasi sa trading talaga kailangan matatag yung dibdib mo. Dito yung tinatawag natin na bato. Okay? Meron kang diamond hand. Ginagawa natin yan para at least alam natin kung risk kasi ito talagang sa risky investment kaya kailangan handa ka rin. Kaya aralin mo rin, importante sa lahat. Okay. Now, ayaw mo talagang gawin siya na nahihirapan ka mag-analyze, mapapagod ka na, tapos ayaw mo yung age mo, hindi mo na bagay. Pero I tell you, wala sa age yan. At wala din sa position kung anong position nyo ngayon. Wala rin doon sa kung may pera ka o wala na pang-invest, wala yun doon. Ang importante ay talagang desidido kung gawin siya at pag-aralan siya. Now, sabi ko nga, kung hindi mo naman talaga kaya o ayaw mo naman gawin na, you can invest in a mutual fund or get insurance policy. No, so if you don't have time to learn or watch video in stock market, don't want to sit in front of the computer all the time, which is admit na nga yun, di totoo yun. Kasi imagine mo, pag nagte-trade ka naman, lalo sa Philippine stock market, is around mga 3 to 4 hours lang, done na eh. Kasi hanggang 1 o'clock lang naman close. Actually, 1 hour lang dapat kung talaga meron ka ng plan. Pero kung ikaw ay nakatutok lang at tinaaral mo yung trading, movement, pwede ka magstay. Pero hindi naman ganun katagal o hindi naman maghapon. Okay. Anyway, ayaw mo nga ng gano'n, invest ka sa mutual fund, meron magka-handle ng mga fund manager sa investment mo. Pero make sure na alamin mo rin kung sino mga investment fund ang pipiliin mo. Kasi meron dyan nagbibigay 7%, 8%, or even 12% per annum. So, ayun yung maximum na may bibigyan nila na potential income. Kaya lang, problema nga, pagka bumagsak din yung market at nakabili sa mataas na price, unlimited din yung loss mo dyan. Pwedeng 20%, 30%, or even 40 or 50%. Pwedeng bumagsak o bumaba yung value ng iyong investment. Kaya you have to learn, no? You have to learn. Doon nagkakaroon kasi ng mga emotional decision. Kunyari, ay, naku, bumaba na yung price. Katulad yung friend ko na 5 years yung kanyang contract, nabili niya sa mataas na price and then bumagsak yung price ngayon, di ba? So, after 3 years na actually, bumaba na ng 40% yung kanyang value. Eh, gusto niya ibenta. Buti na nag-usap kami, binigyan ko siya ng ID, ng konting, diba? Recommendation. Kaya, hinihingi siya sa akin ng So, sinabi ko, kung yun naman kailangan ng pera mo, o kaya hindi for emergency, stay mo lang until matapos yan yung contract niya. Kasi, ngayon, yung 40% loss niya, naging 20%, even 90%, naging 90% na yung value o 10% na lang yung loss niya. Kaya lang yung bumalik ulit ata sa 20% yung loss niya. Anyway, sabi ko pag natapos yan, August naman matatapos yan, baka bumalik. No, the time lang naman ang natalo ka dyan, hindi actually yung pera kung sakasakali. Kung natalo ka man ng minimal amount, hindi ganun kalaki. Diba? So, you have to invest wisely sa mga ganyan mutual fund. And then also, kung gusto mo naman, kumuha ka ng insurance policy para naman at least yung family mo secured na kung mga 1 million, 2 million, kung may nangyari sa'yo. Namatay kang bigla, sakit na. Morbid yan no? But then, totoo lang naman, di ba? Kung may nangyari sa'yo at sandaan ka na, edi yung family mo meron namang may iwanan. Ngayon, walang nangyari sa'yo, at kumikita naman siya dahil nilagay naman sa mga investment fund yan ng iyong fund manager or tinatawag nating insurance advisor, no? Pwede kang kumita doon. No? You can get yung tinatawag nating yung retirement yan. Retirement mo for the year, age. 60 or 70 ka na. All right? So, sabi nga, it's a low risk investment, so you will definitely get low return. Okay, number 3 naman, you can invest in a retail stock market trader. Look for a trusted retail trader na kilala mo, kahit hindi mo kilala, kailangan aralin mo rin siya kung talaga nagtitrade. Minsan kasi, most of the time, nasa YouTube or Facebook, just promoting their subscription or ebook or seminars. Doon sila kumikita. Not on trading. Pero meron talaga nagtitrade naman din. Ako, usually trade talaga. Lalo na lang yan, pagka tatimingan lang din mo kasi hindi yung basta-basta nag-trade ka. Pagka maganda na yung market na natin ngayon, pwede ka na mag-trade. Hindi basta-basta ka papasok sa pag-trade. Okay? So, in this time, lot of things happen and people started traditional business. Ito na about the traditional business. Last year, opened in March and closed in the same month. So, due to lockdown and pandemic. Now, we don't know what will happen. So, for me, if you want to open a business, it should be something that we can control. And for me, stock market is a business and investment that you can control. Why? You can buy or sell, you can hold, you can take profit, you can cut loss. Diba? So marami kang pwedeng gawin na nasa iyo ang decision. And it's a liquid investment. Ibig sabihin, pwede mong pagbenta mo, pwede mong makuha agad yung money mo . No? Depende sa it will take 2 or 3 days para at least pumasok sa iyong bank o doon ka nag-withdraw. So, yun. Stock market talaga pwede mo siyang makontrol if you know what you're doing. Okay, so learn to invest wisely. Okay, now, done na po tayo. I-promote ko lang yung aking mga page, no? Trading risk management page, ito yung ginagamit natin right now. And RCRB Trading, it's another page. It's all about international market. We're using eToro and Interactive Broker for trading. And ito naman CCL Cryptocurrencies Learning. Yan, all about cryptocurrency. Kayo marunong na mag-trade or kaya just invest lang, no, without trading, just staking lang, no, you can invest in cryptocurrency. Yung pag-open lang naman medyo complicated. Madali lang naman actually, katulad ako, no, I can help you to open platform. Like for example, I'm using Binance, no, Binance for trading and staking, and also crypto.com, coin.ph. Ay yung mga top broker, no, na talagang matagal na rin. Saka madali lang naman yung pag-apply plus pag deposit and pag-withdraw ng money. Kasi na ako ito, subukan ko na yan as may experience. And ang Binance ang pinakamadali at meron pa siyang P2P na transaction. Alright, na po tayo, no? Plus nga pala yung aking mga social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, and YouTube. Mga social media natin, platform. And upcoming na rin yung website na ginagawa ng anak ko ngayon, no? So if you like to have a website, kasi ando doon na lahat, no? Hindi ko na ilalagay sa susunod. Website na lang, then you can click and then look for my link and then you can watch videos, live video. Puro live ang ginagawa ko doon kasi it's my journey, no? Actually, itong ginagawa ko is my journey on trading. Hindi ko naman kailangan pa as of the moment magkaroon ng monetization dito. Lalo na sa YouTube, hindi naman ako maano sa YouTube. Kasi iba katanong, ba't di ka gumawa sa YouTube? Marami na sa YouTube Ang ginagawa nila, minomonetize na lang din nila yung kanilang page. No? Yung iba, hindi nga nagte-trading Doon na lang kumikita lang sa YouTube Okay. But anyway, tayo naman, we're sharing this live kasi inano ko nga yung journey ko dito sa pagte-trade para makita ko after 3, 5 years or 10 years, no, from now, nakikita ko kung ano yung nangyari sa akin nung nagsimula ako mag-trade. Alright? So, done na po tayo. So, keep on learning for you to become bigger, wiser, and faster youth. So, this is Ronnie Cayosa. See you on my next video. Bye-bye.